What's up? All right. So, reinventing. Okay, so the holidays, I took some time off the videos just because it's the holidays. November and December seems to be a weird time for fitness. Everyone likes to just blame the holidays for not working out and create a lot of excuses. So, I try as most I can not to do that. So, hopefully, all y'all do that as well. Bryce, let's get him back up, buddy. Josh Myers, you're adding some videos. Thanks, man. Contributing is awesome. So let's get this cracking. All right. So what am I doing now? After MI40X, I ended up taking about 2 weeks off, and I'm gonna cover that real quick. Okay. So at MI40X is a 6-week program. It slowly pyramids up. There is a little bit of a deload phase around 4 and 5, and then it kicks it into high gear, and you're doing mostly 2 days for half the week, and then some really severe overtraining, overreaching, not training workouts. And I get a few clients that I'm doing nutrition with are asking me, hey, what should I do? Like, should I go back in the gym? And absolutely not. That week is you need to take time off. You can go in the gym, you can sit in the sauna, do a cold shower. Actually, that's one of my favorites, especially with the weather change going on. What you want to do is sauna 5-10 minutes, cold shower 2 minutes, sauna shower, just as many times as you want. Make sure you're hydrating as well, because you will sweat a lot. So there's a good chance if you don't hydrate, you're going to get real congested and feel kind of shitty afterwards, almost like you're detoxing, but you're not. You're just dehydrated. All right? So take time off and eat. That's when you grow. All right? So you just debilitated, and now you need to recover. So getting back in the gym and doing repetitive movements on any of them are just going to create more muscle damage and not allow for recovery after you've been just killing yourself. If you did it right, you're killing yourself. Okay, so take some time off, man. It's all right. Learn to meditate. That's a big one. So if you were itching to get back in the gym, which I understand, I love the gym. All right, I freaking live there. I'm there 8, 10, 12 hours a day sometimes, and I don't even notice. Like, it's fantastic. So just create some balance. All right. So I had a few questions that I'm going to answer. One was Josh Myers asked, how do you feel when trying to get as big as possible with adding conditioning in, even if it's not contest prep or it's off season? So Josh likes to compete, and this is for you, buddy. So like with you, you're trying to, in a sense, stay mobile, I hate functional, stay flexible, and then also be able to move that muscle in explosive manners. Maybe play a pickup game of football or hit some sprints with no problem, or even try to do a handstand, which if you're reaching the peak of 240, 250, 260, those are really, you're a bodybuilder now. You can't do anything else unless you're Kali muscle and you're freaking nature. You can do some muscle ups, but that's very, very few and far in between. So choose that life you want to go. Now you're competing WBFF muscle model wise, and those guys are athletic as all get out. Like half of those guys are former Olympic athletes sometimes. And so, yeah, conditioning, put it in there, get it in there, and keep it in there. Like it increases the ability to gain muscle if you do it right, which if you 30 seconds on hard, 30 seconds off, like I do with my MMA conditioning, or a 40-40 or a 40-20, 40 on, 20 off. That's the real business. That'll get you going. That'll potentiate new muscle, and it keeps you lean, and it just feels amazing. Like, I love it. Focusing on new movements, trying to get my movement patterns down, really forces me to be aware of my body in different situations. Like, I'll go to Airborne. If you look on some of my past videos, Airborne is a trampoline house, and I'll go jump and do backflips and cartwheels, and not cartwheels, those are gay, those are easy. So like all sorts of business, because it creates more awareness for my system. And man, when you're upside down in the air, there's nothing but CNS activation going on. So I love that stuff. All right. So yeah, conditioning, kill it, man. Freaking don't overdo it. If you're having a hard time, like if you're doing a smashing week, like one of Meadows or Pokolsky's programs, or even Thibodeau's, where it's the final week, then don't do conditioning, clearly. Or if it's the second week building up into the final week, maybe 1 day a week. And then if it's just, your basic, hypertrophy work, yeah, 2, maybe 3 times a week, that's fine. But just find that balance. If you feel like you are starting to hit a wall, or your weight's doing something weird and has a massive drop, or it's sticking at one place, which not necessarily a bad thing, then you can adjust things from there, all right? So this is for the trainer who already knows how to manipulate for himself. Okay, so I'm going to go cover another one. Brandy, she says about muscle gain in women. she's satisfied with the muscle she has on now, and what can she do to maintain? All right, so maintain is probably it's a 4-letter word without being a 4-letter word. That's the last thing you want to think about in your system. Once you maintain, you become comfortable. Once you become comfortable, you stop learning, you stop growing, and we all have seen that little circle, everything happens outside of the comfort zone. Well, that just happens to be the case. All right. When it comes down to adding, I don't want to add more muscle, that's a mistake. I'm not coming down on anyone about it. It's just not ever a good choice to not focus on adding muscle unless you're a freak of nature and you pile on muscle. Like a few of my clients, Cami Adams being one of them, she's just a freak, and I can just, have her do some hypertrophy work and she's probably up 5 pounds. All right, so always focus on that. All right, focus on adding muscle. As you age, your muscle drops. That's science. All right, so what we want to do is the continual focus on adding muscle increases growth hormone, increases testosterone, it helps check cortisol, it keeps your fountain of youth going, you look younger, you look better. There is a point of no return if you had too much muscle, but that's not the case. Come on. We're not geared out. Even if you are like adding on a lot of muscle while you're geared out, it's still really freaking hard. So let's put it in perspective. Over the year, like to gain 10 to 15 pounds is killing it, just smashing it. And most people don't realize that. They think they're going to gain 10 pounds in a month or 10 pounds in 12 weeks. And granted, given the circumstances, maybe, but you are a lab rat at that point. You're getting poked and prodded and dialed in at every single second to gain that amount of mass. And no one in their right mind is doing that. You lack sleep, you miss meals, you don't work out sometimes, you don't do everything you're supposed to mobility-wise, you skip your supplements, you don't supplement like you're supposed to. So that's all those compile, they add to poundages over and over the compound of the year. So, missing those little things regresses a muscle growth, and so therefore concentrating on muscle all the time because you're missing those windows is so important. Does that make sense? All right, so that's that. All right, so now I'm going to talk a little bit about FitCon. All right, so FitCon is going to be the best thing ever. Right now we have a t-shirt contest going on. So get on there, design FitCon's t-shirt. We're going to use that for every FitCon. All right, so it'll be your logo. Get on there, it doesn't cost anything. Design it, get your friends to vote on it. We want to see some badass stuff out there, so get on and start designing, man. I know I have some really good friends that can create some really awesome logos. I mean, and it's FitCon, Avengers, DC Comics. We're riding off of that. It's the same thing, Comic-Con, FitCon. It's the same logo. That's what we're all about. We're about creating superheroes and meeting superheroes. With Ray Lewis and Ben coming down, I mean, and Felicia and Kathleen, they can't get any closer to superheroes than that, all right? These people are constantly endeavored in health and fitness, and they're trying to motivate people left and right. And in a sense, they save lives that way, if you think about it, if you want to go that deep into things. So let's get on that. Get some designs going, all right? So FitCon's going to be awesome. All right, so speaking of FitCon, rolling into Dr. Jade Wilson's study, I have a summary here that I posted, and it's not working. So what it is it pretty much, they ran a 12-week study, all right? So it was very controlled, the first one ever. Most of the low-carb diets have been under 55% carbs, which is stupid. Like, that doesn't even count as low-carb. That's like high carbs still. So what they did is they put them on a 70% fat, 25% protein, 5% carb. Now that is low carb. That's VLCD, very low carb. Okay. With that, they also had another group, and they were eating the standard American, 55% carbohydrates. All right. What happened? Just think, all right, so all the people, oh, I need carbs to do this, I need carbs to do this. This really excites me because I've been coaching like this for a long time, and a lot of fitness experts out there saying, oh, carbs aren't the enemy, and they aren't. They're not the enemy, but the carbohydrate dominant is better than anything else. Nothing can compete. If you think you're high fat, you're stupid, blah, blah, blah. This has been out there. Like, I get on the boards, I get on the forums, I listen to certain experts out there. There's a few of them that are just, they team up together and like to jump on boards and harangue and harass everybody. And they're the high carbohydrate, IIFYM, flexible dieting. You can eat junk to gain. Well, yeah, you can, but it comes down to what you want to get away with. So rolling back to the study, The keto group gained more muscle, lost more fat, increased VO2, increased power output, increased their freaking stamina on the Wingate tests, amongst others. Whoa, let that sink in for a second. Keto gained more muscle than people having a shit ton of carbs, a shit ton. Like so much I would feel bloated all day. All right, so try that out. Get on, do your own research. Don't take my word for it. Take science's word for it. Every other low-carb study has been done before. One study went down to 13% carbs for 12 weeks. After that, they went right back up to 40%. So there was nothing that really happened. During that 12 weeks, those people had a better time doing it. They had no severe reactions. They didn't have any emotional issues. They didn't have any withdrawals. They didn't have any freaking mood swings. But the other group that wasn't doing 13% carbs had all of the above. They had a hard time sticking to the diet. They had a hard time, huge time with compliance or sticking to the diet. They had a hard time with mood swings. They were grumpy. They didn't want to eat all the time. They felt bloated. They didn't feel good. So another study that semi-points towards carbs are not the greatest for overall health and optimization of your system. But now, Jake, my savior, has come out and done a controlled study for 12 weeks. So if I haven't ramped that into your head hard enough, then there it is. I'll ramp it in a little bit more, okay? Because low carb wins. Game over. Peace out. Hit me back with questions.